Testing. Wanna make sure not too loud. Now we gotta wait for the bit rate. Gotta wait for the bit rate. Turn it down just a little bit more. Do. Gotta make sure it's loud enough to where it even picks up. If we go too low, it just won't pick up at all. So I guess what I need to do is to turn this down a smidge. Would that work? There we go. That way it's just right there into the thing, just a little bit. Don't really want it to be too loud. So where we are. Alright. Still waiting for, okay, the bit rate just passed on up and everything. Let's see. Go ahead and do that and that. And as you can see, we're going to be doing sudoku. I'm gonna start off with this puzzle and everything when people come on in and everything, and we'll see about more what really goes on and everything. So, and we do have a camera, and I'm hoping that the camera doesn't go blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? At least I'm hoping you can hear me. And I got my mic out and everything. Yeah, I finally got some of the things I needed to do, the things with the mic and all that. Alright, so the timer has been counting down the entire time I've been doing a setup. And I probably should have set this up earlier and everything, but now I got it somewhat set up, and I'm going to be changing it throughout time and everything whenever I do Sudoku or any puzzle things or whatever. It's going to be like a little puzzle, whatever, whether it's breaking out of a room or whatever. This is what my plan is. This is kind of more my hobby, you know, from time to time, just to make sure my brain continues on working properly. You know what I mean? Because it really sucks when your brain don't want to work right, you know. So you got to do things to make sure your brain works properly. And one of the things you need to do to make sure your brain works properly is to, play Sudoku games, you know, or puzzle games in general, you know, any of that stuff and everything. And one good thing is that because this is set up the way it is, I can actually see the chat on the same screen. With other games, it's kind of hard to see the chat on there, so you can only you'd have to look at the other screen. So I can still look at the other screen, but I still also have the chat on this screen. So you know, yeah, you know. So what we want to do is we're gonna restart this puzzle, and I'm gonna start trying to solve this puzzle. And come on in and tell me how wrong I am, or how right I am, or just say happy birthday, because well, it's my birthday. All right, so let's go ahead and what we want to do, we want to just one of the main things I usually do is just go ahead and follow the beginning numbers, right? You know, and then you can add a number into it like that, you know, because you got the ones covering out all that other, and then you got that one right there, and then you got that one that comes on down, that one comes on down, which means you got a one could be in one of those. Then that one takes away that one. Now you got another one right there, and then you got these ones coming across and so on and whatnot, you know, which means you got two spots a one can go into. So you go ahead and make a little pencil mark. You can put it there, or you can put it on the. So this is Savin's Sudoku pad. I don't know how many people out there really know about it and everything. And if you ever watched YouTuber Cracking the Cryptic, it's a team of guys, Simon and my brain stopped. I mostly watch Simon because he's the one that my YouTube decides to show me more than the other one. I let me look right quick. I know I don't want to leave him out because he's a really good. He's they're both excellent. Um um puzzlist, or I don't even know if that's how you say it. Puzzlist. They're geniuses. Let's put it that way. They're both geniuses. They do sudoku. They do um word type puzzles like well, you get the point. I'm over here trying to remember stuff and I can't remember anything. So yeah, which is one of the reasons why I do puzzles, is to kind of help break out my brain just a little bit and try to do puzzles. And I was hoping his name would be right there. Let me. Can I go to the channel? Go visit the channel. There we go. There, shorts, videos, bit more. Da-da. Mark. That's his name, Mark. Yeah, his name is it's Simon Anthony and Mark Goodlife. Goodlife. You know how awesome a name like Goodlife could be? You know, even if you live the worst life in the world, you're still good life. I'm sorry, but you know, he's very smart, so he definitely has a good life. As far as his intelligence goes, I don't really know how his real life is and everything, so I can't comment to any of that stuff and everything. And I guess I gotta digress before I say more stupid. You know what I mean? All right, so as you can see, the ones are looking up here. So we got two spots right there, and if I remember correctly, if I press that, yeah, I could do that, and then I can put the number one into those. Um, and that's where the one would possibly be in those, and because this is the only one right here, it leaves three spots, so there's no sense in marking these three spots for one to go into. But we can, as you can see, the nine's already delivering a nine into those. So we can go ahead and toss a nine into that. And I know with the camera being on, you little guys can see everything I'm doing. I'm going to try not to pick my nose. But yeah, I got my sparkling water, which we are in here. All right, so we got both of the nines covering up this, and we got that covering up anyway. So we got two spots right here where we can actually put a nine possibly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put the possible nine in one of those. And why am I on nines now? I'm on nines because I looked at the nine. I normally go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. But this time I saw the nine and it popped in my brain to go to the nine, and the nine spoke, and now I just saw the four. Now the four gets to go right there. You know what I mean? So we'll go ahead and toss a four in there. And I keep on looking at the keyboard because I want to make sure I hit the right number. Because you don't really want to hit the wrong number and fall to the road. Anywho, I digress on that. I'm not really sure where I was going with that stupid joke, but in the parrot course four go into one of these three right here. Also go back to the nines, and you can see how these two go on down, and this one goes ahead and goes across there, which leaves a 9 to go right in there. So we can go ahead and toss a 9 in there. Actually, I probably could go over here and do this right here. Yeah, because we got, but I don't want to accidentally hit that star, because then that star would pretty much do away with the live stream. And the live stream is not going to be very long, so hopefully some people will come in and say hi at least. But I don't. I don't know if anybody's ever going to come in. Let's see. All right, so let's just because we already marked where all the ones can go. Let's go ahead and finish out where all the 9s can go. Because apparently we got 2 spots right here that 9s can go into. So we'll go ahead and mark that. Because that's the way it goes. And of course 9 can go into one of those. So let's go ahead and mark that. And as you can see, because there's only one 9 efficiently going into this, what do you call it, given negative space, which means the positive space is 4 squares, 4 cubes. Let's see, row, column, box, cells. Cells. That's what they are. I have to remember stuff. And since there's 4 cells that a 9 can go into up here, I'm not going to mark it. You can if you like to, and if you want to follow along with any of these things, I'm just doing a regular Sudoku pad with the original puzzles that are on there right now. At a later date, I guess, when people actually come in and start requesting things, we could probably do things like uh, was it uh Logic's Germany, what was it called? Logic Masters Germany or something like that. They have plenty of puzzles. I've done plenty of them puzzles as well. I do the easy ones because, well, let's just face it, I'm not really smart. But I'm trying to be smarter. So that's where I'm going with that. All right. So now we got the 6s that just popped in my brain over here, because I thought I saw something here, but looks like 6 is in 2 spots here. So 6 would go here, it looks like. So let's go ahead and toss a 6 in there, which now pulls through here and here, which means 6 would go into one of those 2 spots. That doesn't seem to do anything, because you got those 2 spots that could have a 6 in it, which I guess I could mark. Won't kill anything, but because they're diagonal, they didn't really help out a great deal as far as solving goes. But it does let me know that the empty spaces could be filled with one of those. Also, we do have another 6 that can go right there, which comes all the way across with these 2. Putting the 6 there, which means now 1 can go there. And then that pulls up to where a 6, not a 5, 6. Which means that, okay, so this one right here and this one right here now becomes a 1-9 pair, which means nothing else can go into those cells other than 1 or 9. Which also means that indicates nothing else. I thought it indicated something else, but it doesn't indicate anything else. other than these other four sales here are going to be um 2, 3, 7, 8. And we can already say this one right here is not going to be a 3 and a 7 because it is 3 and a 7 right here. It could be a 2 or an 8. That's the only thing it could be. I would mark it, but I don't know if that would be helpful right now. But that, something. Let's go ahead and mark it. Let's just say there's a 2 and an 8 possible right there, which doesn't seem to be inclusive in determining anything extra other than there's a 2 and an 8 in those two sections right there. Those two cells hold the 2 and an 8 for this entire row right here. So that means the other two numbers are looks like a 3, 5. And because 3 and a 5 has to go into one of these, and this 3 is looking at this one, means that this right here has to be a 5, which means this is a 3. And just like that, we're off and running, or slightly running. And then you got this column right here, which has two cells in it that doesn't have anything in it yet, and it's that one and that one. And it looks like we're missing the 7 and 8 and 2, 7, 8, 2. And since 2 and 8 go right here because 7 can't, we don't seem to have anything that indicates anything other than that. Let's see. 2, 2, 7, 8. How can we end? How can we? How can we mark that down a little bit? I can go ahead and mark down the 2, 7, 8 like that right there. It'd be fine, I guess. But then you got the same issue right here. Okay, so this right here definitely has a 3 in it. And a possible 2 or a 7. Possible. Ooh, that's where I'm not 100% sure whether I should mark any more to that. Because like this one right here. Okay, so it sees 2 and a 3, so it's a 7 or an 8. That just means 2. Yeah, 7 or 8's the only thing that could go there. Alright, let's go back to what I was doing before I start getting completely sidetracked with my brain here. So we know that 7, might as well go ahead and put all the numbers into these 3 right here that would go right here because we already know that it's going to have a 4 and an 8 in there. And this one can't be 8. Anything else be taken away from that? No. So that means this is the other 3 that's in this right here. We already got 6. So we're looking at, what was that, 2, 2, 5? 2, 5, and this can't be a 2. Can't be a 5. Okay. So now we got all those. So what's the other ones in these two right here? Because we got all these other ones, so it looks like it's just an 8. That's an 8-9 pair. And that didn't get solved. And the only rules as I know of in this is just that the normal Sudoku rules apply. And there's only one possible arrangement. So there's only one solve for this. And let's continue on with the 2s. I guess 2s go right in there. 3. Looks like we got a 3 right here. So now that pretty much says that there's a 3 in one of those two. I know I do a lot of almond, but that's the way my brain goes, especially considering that I feel like I need to keep on talking and stuff, and because I feel like I have to continue on yammering right about in my mouth, I tend to go to fill the silence. And I'm trying not to do that too much, but it tends to happen anyway. So, oh, look at that. I did not see that. I bet y'all saw, well, I bet somebody probably saw it. Didn't say nothing. So that means that the 3, which can't go here or here, has to be here. That's a 3, and that's a nothing. So that means the other 2 are 7/8. 2, 7 right there is a 2, 7, 8. Just go ahead and just run the 2, 7, 8. And this one's going to be a 7 or 8, but I'm not going to mark that. But that fills this entire thing up. And as you can see, there's a of 2s, which isn't really helpful though. And 2 would go in one of those spots. What am I trying to look at here? Oh, look. I already got a 6 right here. I didn't even see. Oh, not 2. 6. No, I want to remove that one. I don't know what that was. Something was on my little thing there. That didn't seem to change much of anything. Yeah, it did, because this 6 right here can't be there no more. That's no longer 6, so that right there has to be 6. Which now makes this one 5, which makes this one 2. There we go. We're moving along. Now it means 5 is in one of those 2 spots. And 2 now is in one of these 2 spots. So yep. All right. Just trying to make some noise. I don't know. My brain, like I said, because I'm thinking I need to keep on talking, my brain would just start making noises, which comes out my mouth because I don't really have much of a filter. But yeah. All right. Where was I? Oh, we already been doing this thing for like 21 minutes. That's got to be sad, right? I don't know. I've only been doing it for 21 minutes. Let's see. Let's see. My brain has to go somewhere with it. Two. Ah. Um. No. I thought I saw something there, but because two could go there. See now, if there was a nine that blocked off these two spots, but because a nine could go there, that means because if I could have a nine thing, oh, you call it a nine there, down there, then we can automatically make that a two. But I don't know. Hmm. I already got. Okay, so five could go right in there. Go. Let's see. The four. So it is saying that a four could go right here. Is there any reason why four in one of those two spots? Where's the four here? Like four has four spots. Don't know if I want to mark that yet. They're already saying that there's a 4, 5 that could go in there, and a 4 can't go there. A 5 could go there, but what's the other number that goes into one of these? And that number is 7. Is there any reason why 7 couldn't go here? The 7 and the 5. Nope, 5 could go there. Almost pretty much said that could be a 4 if 5 couldn't go there, but no. A 5 could very much go into all three of these spots right here. But the 7 can only go into 2 of those spots. It looks like 7. What all are you doing, 7? Uh, 7. 7 is just a cluster, isn't it? It's all over the place. But in this box, it only has 2 spots it can go. And in this box, it only has 2 spots it can go. But in this spot, like the 4, it can go into 4 spots. So if we got 4 numbers, which is 3, 4, 5, 7, which are 4 numbers, and we already know where the 3 and the 5 are possible. That means that the 4 and the 7 are possible in all 4 locations, which means this is definitely a 4 or a 7. And this becomes 4, 7, 8. Hmm. Appear to be slightly off here. Huh. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. All right, something's gonna eventually show itself to me, and we'll figure it out. Basically, what I see right now is that it's a 5, 7 could go there. 4, 5, 7 can go there, and 4, 5 can go there. And then, of course, 4, 7 can go there. And then, of course, 7 could go here. So sad that 5 could go there. Uh, how about that one? This number right here, what could else go there? 4, 8, maybe. Is that what we're looking at? It's because it's already saying 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So it's only a 4, 8. And of course, 8 could go in one of those. Oh, that means 8 could go in one of those. 8. Oh, lordy. That just jumped out of somewhere and nowhere all at the same time, huh? Um, excuse me. Hmm. Yeah, apparently I'm stuck a little bit. Probably should try to remember some of the rules, but I don't know all the rules. And I hadn't memorized all of them anyway. Mhm, 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 mhm. 7, 8, 9. The line broke. The monkey got choked. And this one right here looks like it could probably have a 7 in it. That's because it sees all the other numbers but 7 and 2. What does that tell me? Absolutely nothing. Bless you. I'm just going to stare at it until something illuminates. Wonder if that would work. One of the things that I've seen Cracking the Cryptid do is color things. But it's only things that are similar and multiple similarities. And that's not going to work here, is it? Because there's not multiple similarities. There's only a few similarities here and there, and they're all in the same thing. So, not too sure that would even attempt to work for me right here. That's something that ought to be done. Go ahead and make sure we lock in the numbers that are definite. Those right there are definite. And this one right here. Definite 1. And what are those? It's like just slightly skewed enough to where it's not given its entirety of the information that is available for my brain to grab and run with it. I'm still thinking something about this cell might be what I'm looking for. Because I already know that 4, 7, 8. No, it's only 7, 8 in this one right here. Because 4 is looking at it. So the only two that would go into it is 7 and 8. 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. And does that feels like something to it. Because you got 7, 8 here. and you'll have 7, 8, 9 right here. Means you only have 2 spots for a 2. And 7, 8, definite 7, 8 here. And this is 7, 8, 9. Let's see, if I were to go 1, 7, 8, 9, I would leave a 2 right here. Now, if this was 7, 8, 9, then this would be the 2. Would leave a 1 right here. Okay. So that's pretty much wrapped up nice and neat and tidy, isn't it? Uh, so basically what it is that if this is a 2, this is a 1. And if this is a 1, this is the 2. So there's no. So we know 2 has to go into these. There's one of these 2. And a 3 has to go into one of these 2 spots. So this could be a 3, this could be a 2. This could be something completely different. What does that mean? That means nothing. What other number could this one be? Because there's only one number that could fill in that spot that would, whatever the number is here, is got to be possible in all 3 spots in order to lock the other 2 numbers in to their spots. And it looks like a 4 would be going across the top here. So is it the 4? Because the only other numbers are 7 and 8, and 7 and 8 can't go there. So the only other number that can go right there, well, 8 can't go there, 7 can go there. I was about to say the only number that could go there would be 4, but no. 4 can go into one of those spots. So definitely saying that's what that top is right there as a lock-in. So does this lock this into being that? Or does 7 come in and trump it? I don't know. But let's just think of it for a second. If it was a 7 right here, then this right here would have to be a 4, and this would have to be a 3, this would have to be a 2, and then this would have to be an 8. And if this is 4, then these 2, well, actually, if this is a 2, 3, or 4, all these would pretty much be solved. And this one right here and this one right here would be a 7, 8 pair. So the 7 that's possible here, is that what closes it off? Because if a 7 goes here, then that pushes the 2 right here, which then pushes the 4 over here and then pushes 3 over there, and this becomes an 8. So if this is 2, then these two are 7, 8. Because this becomes 3, 4, 7, and 8. So it looks like an 8 could possibly go here, but if an 8 goes here, let's just do that hypothetical. 8 goes there, then 7 goes there, 3 goes there, then 4. Okay. So 3 now, I mean 8 has 3 spots. It could possibly go into. 7 has 4 spots it can go into. How do we disambiguate these 7? This number right here is either going to be 2, 3, 4, or 7. And I think that's what locks it, because my brain can't seem to comprehend it for some reason. Does seem to be a slight delay again on the thing, but I don't know. Always does that. Is it a slight delay? Or is it just because I didn't refresh things and everything? I just love delays. Oh well, it just had to be delayed. I don't know what to really do about it. And it's probably just because I got the camera going on it. Maybe if I got the other camera set up, I'll probably do that next time. Try to set up another camera or something that I don't know. We'll just have to try to solve this like this. I'm trying to see something, but I'm not 100% sure what it is I'm seeing. Because I can do all the guessing I want, but this right here. Alright, so whatever this number is, this one right here is either going to be a 7 or 8. Actually, it's already going to be a 7 or an 8 anyway. That's stuck in there because this is going to be 7, 8, 9. And this is pretty much what the bottom line is kind of looking like. Except for this right here is a possible of a 9. But I'm thinking that it can't ever be a 9. Because if we put a 9 right here, hypothetically, if we put a 9 right there, then that would be 7, 8 here, 7, 8 here, right? Then this becomes 2. And then this becomes 1. Oh, I just blowed my own damn mind. So it would work if there was a 9 there. This would be a 1. This would be a 2. And if this is a 2, and this is a 9, then this would have to be a 1, which then makes this a 2, which removes that one, which forces this to be a 2. Okay, which means this is going to be a 7. This would be 8. Okay, so it does kind of have its walk around. It seems to be able to be a 9 as well. And I really didn't want to mark all that because then, we could put a 9 in one of those. And then that just throws in a whole nother mess, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and mark it because I don't know what else to do. And it does look like, of course, we could put a 7 in there and in there. And it looks like apparently 8 can go into either one of those as well. You see how it just kind of starts cluttering up. And since it's cluttering up and everything, I don't know. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and pretend this is a 9, and we'll see how far we can get by making this a 9, right? Not a 9. We made that one a 9. That becomes a 1. And this becomes a 2. Which then in turn, because this is a 2, makes this one an 8. Which, because this is a 9, this is a 1, this is a 9, makes this one a 2, which makes this one a 7, makes this one a 5, which will make this one an 8, makes this one a 7, makes this one a 9, and as you can see, that just broke. So this right here can never be a 9. And then we just kind of go back on all that. And we know now that that's not a 9. So it's definitely a 1 or 2. Please tell me it can't be an 8. Well, let's go ahead and say it was an 8. Just hypothetically. And this right here would become a 7. Right? Which now means this right here has to be a 9. Means this right here would have to be a 1, and this right here would have to be a 2. Right? And this one right here would become a 9. And we already know this right here would have to be a 1. Which I guess this right here would have to be a 2. This right here would be a 5. Means this one, because of that 2, can't be anything. Because the only other number that can go there is a 7. So we just figured out that can't be an 8. So now we know that is neither 8 or 9. So it's definitely a 1 or a 2. And this one possibly a 7. And I'm thinking that has to be locked in like that right there. But I'm still not entirely certain because a 7 and an 8 could be here ish. I think. I don't know. Alright. So basically, what I'm looking at now is what would this number be? Alright, so let's go ahead, since we're doing the hypotheticals anyway, let's go ahead and make that one the 1, which means that now 2 has nowhere else to go but here. And this one right here has no choice but to become a 9. And now that makes these two 7 or 8. Oh, and because this is 2, now this is an 8. Does that do anything? That 2 makes that an 8. That becomes 2. Now puts a 2 here. Makes this one 4. And these 2 8s makes this one a 7. Which now makes this one a 9. Yeah, makes that one a 9. Makes this one an 8, which makes this one a 9. Makes this one a 7. Now makes this one an 8. Makes this one a 7. Now has to make this one a 2. Makes this one 1 because that 9. That 1's down there already. Makes this one the 2. Now makes this one the 5, which makes this one the 7. And that's where it breaks. So that's what happens when that's a 1. So now we pretty much say it's a 2. Now means that 1 has to go somewhere, and that has to be there. That has to be 9. Now means that has to be 1. That doesn't necessarily know that that has to be a 5 because of the whole 7 8 thing. Oh, okay. Because it looks like 8 could go there. Okay, so I'm confident in saying that's a 2. Means this is not a 2. But it doesn't say that that has to be a 5. What does that say? Now, I had this thought that what if it is like the rule of thumb? Like, the whole 7 8 here, 7 8 there. It means this has to be a 2. But that doesn't really compute, does it? Because this is 7 8 right here. That doesn't mean that that's a 2. Actually, that does, doesn't it? Yeah, because 2 can't go there, 7 8 there. That has to be a 2. Makes that an 8. Which removes the 8 from there and there. Don't know if I want to do that yet. This 8 can go there, there. Let's go ahead and remove them because I'm pretty sure we're going down the right track. Mm-hmm. So now all the ones are done. Nines, maybe. Yeah, that shows the 9 right here, which now shows the 9 to there and there. Makes this 8. And looks like 7 has no choice but to go here. So 2 would have to go there. Ooh, okay, so this had to be 5. So this right here would have to be 8. Which now throws the 8 right there. And this one has no choice but to be 7. So this one right here has no choice but to be 8. Be 7. Means this would have to be 8. Would have to be 2. Means this is 8. This would have to be 7. This now is a 4, 3. This 7 goes right down here, making this a 4. Makes this one an 8. Which makes something. Which makes something. Alright, so this is now 5, 4, 7. So this is now 4. This is now 7. And this now becomes 3. This becomes 4. And then this becomes 4. This becomes 2. This becomes 7. This is 3. And this one is 5. There we go. Took me almost an hour. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what you got to do sometimes. I know some people are like, not to, what do you call it, guess. But I guess I'm not really, I guess I'm not guessing. Well, I wasn't really guessing. I was just kind of nitpicking because I, I have to go about it the way I can. And it was those two numbers that were like, uh, it was this number and this number that was like aching at me because this one right here was either going to be a 2 or a 7. And for some reason, I was thinking these three had to be the 2, 3, 4, but I wasn't 100% about it because a 7 and an 8 could have been in almost any one of them except for that one because of the given one. But that's what my brain was trying to do. And I got fixated on this number right here, which could have been a 1, 2, 8, 9. And because of that, I was like, I want to find out once and for all which number this one really was. And the only way to do it was to put a number in there and follow it along until it broke. And when it finally broke, you was like, okay, now I know. And that's what I did. And I came back to it, and this had to be a 2. And once when it became a 2, it pretty much had no other way to go but to solve. And it just, but my brain just couldn't comprehend it there for some reason. So I was like kind of getting a little on the stuck side. So we've done that one. Do we want to attempt to do puzzle 2? If you bring it up close to your face and everything, you see it's got like a little design and everything. So this is probably going to be even harder. And I don't know if I get another hour because it is my birthday, and because it is my birthday, me and my wife are going to actually go and enjoy dinner out tonight. That doesn't, and we don't like going and being out too far after dark, so we're planning on leaving in about 30 minutes. And I'm gonna stay hydrated. But anywho, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let's just go ahead and close that on out and go on over here to the outro. This has been my birthday stream. We did one little puzzle and everything. I thought we might have been able to do more, but let's just face it, I'm not very smart. But whether I'm smart or not, I really thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed, go ahead and follow so you can be notified every single time I go live. And follow my socials. I also post on my socials sometimes about when I go live so that people will know when I'm going to go live. And if you're watching this on the VOD channel, which is youtube.com/ContraVods, thank you so much for watching. And if you like, go ahead and subscribe and like and highlight that little bell icon if you would, so that you can be notified every single time I upload videos. So thank you again so much for watching, and y'all have a good one.